Hi there, Sustainable Futures Explained presents Sustainability Explained. In our previous episode, we explored what sustainability is and the UN SDGs, which are a guiding framework in realizing sustainable development in our economies. To carry on the conversation, this video will highlight some of the key multilateral frameworks on sustainability, focusing on the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change, which is commonly known as the UNFCCC, the Paris Agreement, and the Kyoto Protocol. It's important to note that these frameworks, as well as industry standards and organizational policies, outline requirements projects should adhere to and therefore have a significant impact on their advancement at various levels. Multilateral environmental legal frameworks establish standardized rules and regulations that encourage the adoption of eco-friendly practices, promote efficient resource utilization, and facilitate the incorporation of environmental factors into decision-making processes. The UNFCCC, adopted in 1992, provides principles for international cooperation in responding to climate change. From scientific evidence, there was a growing concern around the effects of climate change in our ecosystem, especially caused by human activities. With the realization that these effects were interconnected and transboundary in nature, this framework was established to encourage international cooperation in research, knowledge sharing, and collective action to stabilize atmospheric concentration of greenhouse gases globally. The varying capabilities among member states are recognized in this framework, thereby emphasizing the principle of common but differentiated responsibilities. Under the UNFCCC, the annual Conference of Parties, commonly known as COP, brings together representatives from member states to discuss and make decisions on issues related to climate change. The last was COP27, which was themed Together for Implementation and aimed to renew and expand the commitments established under the Paris Agreement. Now that we've covered the UNFCCC, which is an umbrella framework, we can jump into exploring the Paris Agreement and the Kyoto Protocol. The Paris Agreement was adopted in COP21 as a legally binding international treaty on climate change to achieve the Sustainable Development Goals. The main objective of the Paris Agreement is for all countries to reduce greenhouse gas emissions in order to limit global temperature increase to below 2 degrees Celsius and pursue further efforts to limit the increase to 1.5 degrees Celsius. The agreement seeks to improve capacity and ensure adequate financial support for developing nations in their climate change mitigation and adaptation efforts. This has led nations and industries to progress towards a clean energy transition and set strategies that contribute to a net zero future. The Kyoto Protocol, also under the UNFCCC, sets individual greenhouse gas emission targets for signatory nations to reduce emissions and address global warming. It provides a framework for international cooperation and key mechanisms such as 1. The international emissions trading, where nations that do not reach their emission targets can sell this excess capacity to countries that are over their targets, and 2. The clean development mechanism that enables countries with emission reduction commitments to implement projects in developing nations, earning sellable emission reduction credits that can be used to fulfill their Kyoto targets. The UNFCCC, the Paris Agreement, and Kyoto Protocol therefore emphasize the need to reduce greenhouse gas emissions in order to address climate change. These agreements provide a framework for international cooperation, financial support, and provide mechanisms for emission reductions. This is key to advancing sustainability and ultimately achieving a net zero future. Thank you so much for watching this video, and we hope to see you next time.